We will.
I was as Minari and I were preparing for today's gathering, I'm on task mode, right? And I'm like, okay, we gotta do this, and I gotta put this, and I gotta pull out the video, blah, blah, blah. And then I take a second to purposefully and intentionally let myself be in the soul field. And this is an invitation I want to give you, offer you, to intentionally let yourself be taken by the soul field and embraced by the soul field. When I felt that, it was an immediate shift in my energy. Immediate. It brought me to tears. I felt so held, so loved, so understood, so forgiven immediately. So I'm inviting you as we open the portal of divine perfection to let go of everything that needs to be transmuted. And as we enter the soul field today, I light the candle to give us some light in this times. To light your candles if you have it. And I invite you to dive into this waterfall of love and perfection. Allow yourself to be in that beautiful embrace where everything is well, everything is okay. And whatever else you have pending, let's put it on the portal of divine perfection to be transmuted.
And so we come with grateful, reverent, and open hearts to drink from the deep well of our eternal nature. As we dive into the soul field together, we are held in a sacred and holy embrace by the source of all love, light, and grace. In this eternal now, we actively invoke our unique pathways to source and the beings of love light that support our divine unfolding. We allow our mind, body, spirit to expand into the holy realms where magic and miracles are commonplace. As we minister to ourselves, we minister to one another and our family humanity. We recognize we are one in the holy wholeness. We allow what we do here today to ripple out through our lives as a living witness of divine grace for the benefit of all beings.
Venimos con corazones agradecidos, reverentes y abiertos a beber del profundo pozo de nuestra naturaleza eterna. A medida que nos sumergimos juntos en el campo del alma, somos sagradamente acogidos por la fuente de todo amor, luz y gracia divina. En este ahora eterno, pedimos que se abran nuestros caminos hacia el Creador, juntos con seres de amor y luz que apoyan nuestra evolución divina. Permitimos que nuestra mente, cuerpo y espíritu se expandan hacia los reinos sagrados donde la magia y los milagros ocurren constantemente. A medida que atendemos nuestras propias necesidades, así atendemos el uno al otro y a toda nuestra familia humana, reconociendo que somos uno en la totalidad sagrada. Permitamos que todo lo que se haga aquí, hoy, continúe fluyendo en nuestras vidas como un testimonio vivo de la gracia divina para el beneficio de todos. This brought tears to my eyes because as I'm feeling the soul field, as we're diving into the soul field, I'm reminded of the image that I get, which is the image of diving into this waterfall, into this spring. And as I'm reading the words, it's all about flow. It's about diving. It's about this, just this magical. And every time I say it makes more and more sense, what we're doing here. So We're going to start with a new affirmation that will be tapping, and we can either tap the thymus or rub the ears. Sorry, what am I sharing here?
We
Share.
we're having a new focus for these next many weeks, and this is our new affirmation. And so Nancy will lead us and we will follow. We'll say our affirmation 3 times.
I am grounded in my soul values.
I am grounded in my soul values.
I see clearly what is for me and easily choose that which uplifts me and glorifies my life.
I see clearly what is for me and easily choose that which uplifts and glorifies my life.
I am living my soul sovereignty, choice by choice.
I am living my soul sovereignty, choice by choice.
I am grounded in my soul values.
I am grounded in my soul values.
I see clearly what is for me and easily choose that which uplifts and glorifies my life.
I see clearly what is for me and easily choose that which uplifts and glorifies my life.
I am living my soul sovereignty, choice by choice.
I am living my soul sovereignty, choice by choice.
I am grounded in my soul values.
I am grounded in my soul values.
I see clearly what is for me and easily choose that which uplifts me and glorifies my life.
I clearly see what is for me and easily choose that which uplifts and glorifies my life.
I'm a living soul. I'm living my soul sovereignty. I want to keep saying I'm a living soul sovereign, choice by choice.
I'm living soul sovereignty, choice by choice.
Beautiful. Ooh.
Can you feel it? Can you feel a different vibration running through your biospiritual system, your bodysuit vibrating with a different frequency? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, someone says the ear pinch felt good on that one. Yeah. We
Yes.
we're starting this new series. You could hear the words of choicefulness. You could hear the words of discernment, what is for me, what uplifts and glorifies. We're really in this series going to be getting at what is it? How do we truly become the sanctuary that can receive the fullness of grace, the fullness of who we are? And we're going to be talking about that in a very particular sort of vein. And that's the vein of, understanding we are living in a world that is largely engineered and becoming increasingly fake with the advent of more and more open platform AI. And so these things, this engineered sort of fake world is literally vying for our attention. It's vying for our focus, our time, our awareness. It's keeping our minds spinning. It's keeping our eyes active all the time, is vying for us. And so what do we need to see, understand, know? How do we allow ourselves to become still and receptive and able to move from soul wisdom? Like, let our soul lead in the midst of all of that.
Yes. So we're going to start a new series where we'll move um, through this process of trusting and trusting ourselves and trusting that we are this sanctuary, that we are this this powerful engine of choice. And we're going to go through different ways in which we can continue to co-create and seek what is in our highest good. Um, the the things that we've been witnessing for a while now has been how distracted we get and how disconnected we get. And when we start getting disconnected, of course, we get isolated and we start comparing ourselves and we start creating different emotions that definitely do not exist in us naturally. And so, how do we reconnect to what's there naturally? There was a study that I learned from recently about how for every time that we are in front of our phones, scrolling through anything, social media, whatever, our cognitive abilities decrease. And we want to continuously empower us to make choices that align with how we want to show up in the world. And that is by identifying the things that are disconnecting us, not from a victim perspective, but more from an empowered perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in order to do that, we have to be willing to really see the pull that is perhaps at minimum unconscious in the ways that we've organized the outer world, and in some ways maladaptive, right? These energetics that are like not aligned for us and not even aligned for human biosystems, right? We're evolving, like we're evolving beings, and so technology is part of our evolving, and we're able to do this, of course, because we have that. And so there's no like, oh, it's bad. It's just that it's not, we are not optimally harmonized with the acceleration that's happening. And how do we see, right, that there are literally factions that want our compliance, they want our vote, they want our time, they want our money, they want our focus, they want our choice. They want us to feel, that we have to do that thing, or that we're at the mercy of this other thing, so that, we are moved by an economic drive in our culture that is, sort of devouring itself and devouring us. And so not that we, like Nancy said, that we go like, oh, we're at the mercy of that, we're a victim of that, but that we see it so we can choose, that we acknowledge it so that we can make a conscious choice to make adaptations that allow us to meet what's coming in our world with the greatest adaptability we possibly can, and soul being in the center of that. Right?
Yes. What happens often is we seek outside of ourselves for guidance into how we should live our lives. And everything is so manicured and everything is so, designed in a certain way that we start to believe, well, maybe I need to be like that, or maybe I need to follow society's expectations of me. And we start to create expectations for ourselves of how things should be. And when we're not meeting those expectations, then this is where pain comes, because there's dissonance inside of us. It should be this way, when in reality, you are the co-creator. So whatever is happening right now is actually a co-creation of the divine with you. But when we resist it, is because we are attached to a certain perspective or a certain expectation. And what we want to do in this series is to take the veil down and say, let's really look at what is, not what everything around you is saying should be.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a way in which in that experience of outer seeking, which we are taught culturally, right? In that experience of outer seeking, and outer seeking culturally, and even sometimes spiritually, even in how we sometimes think about praying, which is like, I'm not connected and I don't have access, please give it to me, rather than recognizing and knowing like we are absolutely 100% the fabric of the divine.
Yeah.
And
I
if
do.
we quiet and still and recognize, like Nancy was saying at the beginning, when she entered into the soul field today, and she just like remembered who she is, and that remembrance brought her to tears, how much love, how much support, how much grace, how much holding, how much is there for us. That's always happening. But whether we are tuning to that channel or we're tuning to the outer noise really dictates our experience. And that key word, like we have choice in that, but we have to do it consciously. Because as Nancy said, we are always in a co-creation with the divine, but also with the fields that we are embedded in. And we have to choose our relationship to those fields, or they will dictate us. Right? They will drive us. And so what we're really wanting is to help you take your power back and to face the potential, we could even say seeming threats, but I'll say the illusion of threat, to face the illusion of threat with sacred support.
Yes. Yes. In this space, in the soul field, it's a remembrance of, hey, I've been on my mind a lot instead of my soul. I've been operating on this way of being instead of relaxing into who I really am, which is this being of light that is shining with you all, you know, because all of you are that as well. And when I forget, that's when I beat myself up. When I forget is when I feel bad about certain things, or I push myself, or I feel anxious or afraid about the future, about the past, about whatever. And the magical thing is having this meetings and the meditations where we can really remember. We can go in and release everything, put everything in the temple of divine perfection. And then we come in and we remember, and everything is forgiven, everything is released. Here in the soul field, you are love, you are this flow, this energy. I don't even have words to explain the feeling. I just want you all to experience this.
Yeah. I'm feeling like sharing the story that I shared with you, Nancy, about the driver's license and the
Yes.
eyes. Okay. We just have a couple minutes. We kind of gave you the overview. We're going to dive into each of these topics and move in little veins off of them over the course of the next many weeks. We want to lay the foundation today and sort of ready us. But I want to share a story about what happened this week. So we had our Wednesday meditation. Some of you were with us. And spontaneously, what came in that meditation was the clearing and the cleansing of our lenses of perception, our ways of seeing. I've needed to get my driver's license renewed for many months, and been operating on an expired license. Oops. And I've hesitated a little bit because I think it's time for me to get the sort of real ID. And those of you who know me, like I'm very much against a certain level of the kind of surveillance and control and manipulation by the powers that be. So there's like a hesitation, like I don't want that chip on my ID that I have to carry that they can track and you know. So I've been a little hesitant, but I kept getting this like, go do this thing today on Thursday. And I was like, okay, that's the day after. Oh, I forgot one little story. Woke up Thursday morning, and after that meditation Wednesday, my eyes hurt. They ached like they were bruised. I was like, what is going on? Like my eyes hurt, and I was looking, are they red? No, they're not red. And I couldn't figure it out for a minute. And then I remembered the meditation, and I was like, whoa. So I texted Nancy. I'm like, my eyes hurt today, like the lens thing. Whoa. And so fast forward, I go through this process. It all like, the divine timing, the da da da. But what happened was I accidentally left all the paperwork that you need for the real ID at home. So I got to the DMV for my like appointment, and it was like, your number is up, because I could check in online. And I went to grab the paperwork that was supposed to be on the passenger seat, and it was not. And I was like, ah. So I drove home, but what was happening is two things. I was still a little in the anxiousness of like, I don't know about doing this. And I was also in the anxiousness about time, because now I'm like, la la la, oh, I'm late, and am I going to lose my space in line, and all the things. And Spirit was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you operating in this like swirl? And I was like, oh yeah. And then literally I'm driving down the road, and a ladybug goes whoop, and she doesn't splat. She just lands on my windshield and looks at me. And for me, Ladybug is Divine Mother, specifically in the form of Mother Mary. So I was like, okay, I got you. And then when I looked to look closer at her, these two hawks were circling. And I was like, okay, I hear you, I hear you. And one of the things that had happened before I left the house is I'd forgotten where I put my marriage license. And so I wasn't bringing it for the name change thing, but I was like, okay, well, there's another paper that maybe they'll take that. And I have the original email. Hopefully they'll take that. And as after all that happened, I was like, oh yeah, I put my marriage license in this book about love to sort of like infuse our marriage. So I knew exactly where it was. And I ran in the house, get the book, go. So there's all these magical occurrences, and I'm standing there. I get in, and they had just called the number before me, and I wait like 3 or 4 minutes while I watch these two girls play delightfully. I'm just like giggling and laughing as I'm watching them. They call me, I go up. Now, I've had a vision restriction on my license since I was 16. Since I got my license, because for long distance vision. And they have to do a vision test, and she says, you wear corrective lenses. And I said, yes, but could I just try without them? I don't know why I said that. She's like, sure. I passed the vision test. I could see. I'm 53. Yeah.
Fireworks.
And the other thing I forgot to say, Spirit said to me before, when I'm driving and I'm worried, and it was like, Spirit's like, look, you're worried about this surveillance, this whatever, just put it in my embrace. Let me hold that. I've got you. I've got you. Don't worry, I've got you. And then I go and I can see.
Yeah. So incredible. So incredible.
We are absolutely 100% the substance of the divine. And we forget it. I forgot. I was spinning a little. I remembered enough to like be doing the thing that I felt guided to do, even though it felt a little whatever. And I knew that there was divine timing and flow, and the way this had all happened in this day, that was not at all on my agenda to do. And then I forgot, and I got worried. And then I could see myself, like there was a part of me going like, why are you worried? But I was.
Yeah.
And then the presence came and literally landed on the windshield and was like, honey,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Got you.
Yeah. And these healings happen so often, but our minds don't see it, don't want to believe it. Like I grew up with a father who could heal with his hands. People would come in the house sick and leave healthy. I had psychic surgery performed on me. I had hands-on healings performed on me where I know I had healed, not with a scalpel, but with divine intervention, where I went to the doctor later and it was like, whoa, how did this happen? So I promise you, this healing, like her eyes healing, is not out of the ordinary. It's a miracle that continues to happen over and over and over. But it is our mind that says it has to be this way, and these are the only choices we have. And so throughout this series, we want to invite you to open yourself up to different choices. to open yourself up to the infinite amount of opportunities and choices that are out there available for you, and to believe in the magic, believe in the miracles.
And not only believe, but to literally place all parts of your life. Someone
Mhm.
talked today as we were checking in about pain. Someone talked about grief. Someone talked about fear around what's happening in the work field. Like, let that all be in the divine embrace. Even Nancy and I, with as much intentionality and consciousness that we live our lives, we have pockets where we recognize, like, oh, I haven't like literally just put that in the soul field. I just literally haven't given that to the divine embrace. I'm stressing about a thing. I don't need to stress about a thing. I need to notice a thing and then say, show me, guide me, lead me, please help me open to the grace that allows me to live this part of life, whatever it is,
Yes.
from the place of my holy and sacred isness.
Yes. And these gatherings are for you. They are to connect you. They are to give you the codes. This information that we are coming, it's not coming from Nancy and Luminaria's brain. It's coming from soul, from guidance that says, this is the message. And we're here humbly sharing it, humbly sharing what we know, what comes through us, the experiences, and it is for you. So take it, enjoy it, live it, feel it.
Today, we're going to be in that space of preparation and actually in the space of like a certain kind of clearing of that hubbub, if you will, that outer noise, so that we can come into our sacred wholeness, so we can come into communion with God, Goddess, Source. And so we're going to do that at the level of our body, a particular type of breathwork practice that I call chakra breathing. This was given to me several years ago, but not terribly long ago, as a way to literally cleanse each of the chakras and bring in the divine breath of life, bring in the frequencies that allow us to operate in congruence with that frequency. It's like tuning to that field in the chakras. Some of you have heard us talk about the chakras as platforms of creation. Literally, the chakras hold a vibrational frequency, and we create at the different levels, at the different platforms in different ways in our world. And so we're wanting to do today with this breath work is sort of clear each of those platforms so that they're shining and vibrating with sort of that like newness, almost like the newness of kind of like the quality of baptismal newness, whatever that might mean for you, like this sense about being made fresh, made anew. And so we'll do this breathwork practice that I'll explain in a minute. And then Nancy's going to take us from there into a deep meditation of receptivity. And so we'll kind of do this two parts, a preparation and then a receiving at the next level, like as we are clear. So,
So
yes,
I
please.
wanted to just say briefly, if you can imagine, the chakras are the centers of energy that are located in different parts of our bodies. We know the main ones, the ones that are very popular, but we have chakras in various parts of our bodies. And they are sort of like, if you can imagine a washing machine going back and forth like that, the chakras sort of take energy and give energy like that. And sometimes the chakras go spin in one way or another, either given too much energy or taking too much energy. And so as we're clearing this, is sort of we're also doing a reset of the chakras so they move in the way that is most congruent with your energy. So I want you to imagine taking in with the breath the energy and exhaling with the breath, so we can recalibrate all of the chakras.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll begin with just attuning to a different way of being with breath. And so we often think about breath as taking, and we're going to shift into a receiving, and I'll walk us through that. And we'll start after we just do some breathing together. We'll start by focusing at the root chakra, and we'll intend like the root chakra can and does take in. We'll intend that it like receives that divine breath of life. Some people might call that prana, the divine breath of life in, and we'll pause the breath for a moment to let that energy sort of move in the root. And then the root will release all that is complete, all that is no longer serving, all of the allegiance to energies that don't serve, etc. And we're going to walk you through that. We'll do 3 at each center, 3 of those cleansing breaths, those activating breaths. And then we'll breathe from every direction, all the chakras from every direction. When we move, so from the root, pulling up, when we move to the chakras on the midline, we're going to be pulling simultaneously from the front and back aspect. So you can imagine like the back of the chakra and the front of the chakra going, and then, right? So you'll feel, sense, know, intend to receive the breath of life from the front and back of each of these centers. And so we'll begin. Bringing awareness inward. And as the awareness and the gaze becomes internal, feel yourself landing more fully in this moment. Even landing more fully in the body, like you can sit down and relax into your own body temple more fully. Feel yourself consciously connecting with the breath and just noticing the breathing. In the next couple of breaths, we're going to make a shift. And we're actually going to feel ourselves pause the breath for a moment and wait till you feel the pulse of the divine, the pulse of the universe. And when you feel that pulse, that breath coming, wanting, desiring to inspire you, you receive that breath in. And when the breath is complete, you breathe out, understanding that breath as an offering, a sacred offering, like you're giving over to the divine what is complete in you. And then you're receiving the divine breath of life, the universal energy, the prana, as you breathe in, and you release and offer out as you breathe out all that is complete in you, all that you are done with. And we'll continue breathing this way. And on the next in-breath, bringing your awareness to the root, feeling the root receive the divine breath of life up into it. Pausing for a moment, letting it cleanse the root center and breathing out, releasing from the root all that is no longer feeding your divine possibility. Receiving breath into the root center again. Pausing for a moment and releasing all that is complete, all that no longer serves. Drawing in, receiving the divine breath of light into the root, pausing for a moment. And specifically releasing any attachments to outer things that no longer serve or deserve your allegiance. Bringing awareness to the sacral center and drawing as you receive breath in, drawing the divine breath of life from the front and back of the sacral center. Pausing, letting that cleansing happen and breathing out, releasing all that no longer serves, all that you are complete with. Drawing the divine breath of life into the sacral center, front and back. Letting that grace move and dislodge and releasing and offering back anything that you've tied yourself to that isn't feeding your greatest experience of your soul sovereignty. Drawing again the divine breath of life into the sacral center. Pausing, feeling that nourishment and releasing from the front and back aspect anything that is not true nourishment for you. From the solar plexus, drawing in from the front and back the divine breath of life. Feeling that medicine and releasing with the out breath in both directions, front and back, from the solar plexus, anything that's complete. Drawing in the divine breath of life into the solar plexus, feeling that swirl. Breathing out from the front and back, anything that's taking your true power, we're letting it go now. Drawing in from both front and back the divine breath of life into the solar plexus. Feeling that nourishment and releasing anything that would make you feel less than the divine being of light that you are. From the heart center now, both directions, receiving the divine breath of light, drawing that in. Feeling that nourishment and releasing, breathing out any heaviness, grief, limitation, lack that you are complete with. Drawing into the divine breath of, into the heart, the divine breath of life. And letting go from both directions of the heart any outer focus that keeps you feeling small and not enough. Drawing in from the front and back of the heart, the divine breath of life, receiving that nourishment. Letting that nourishment dislodge anything that is non-resonant for you and simply breathing that out, releasing in both directions from the heart. From the throat, receiving, drawing in the divine breath of life, letting that minister and releasing from the throat, front and back, whatever is no longer serving, whatever is complete. Drawing into the throat the divine breath of life, front and back. Feeling that movement, breathing out anything that you speak that limits you. Drawing into the divine breath of life, all the newness, front and back. Breathing out all that is complete, that is finished, that is done, letting it go fully now. Into the front and back of the third eye, drawing in the divine breath of life. Letting that cleanse your mind and your eyes and breathing out from both directions. All that causes you to be limited. Drawing in from the front and back of the third eye, that divine breath of life as you receive that nourishment in. It changes your mind. And you release all the thoughts and perceptions and orientations as you breathe out in both directions that no longer feed your great potential. Drawing into the front and back of the third eye, the divine breath of life. Receiving that activation and feeling how that just helps you dislodge whatever is no longer serving you. And you breathe that out as a sacred offering, giving this back. From the crown now, drawing the divine breath of life into the very top of the head. Letting that move and work. And then releasing with the out breath, spiritual disillusionment, places of feeling disconnected. Drawing the divine breath of life into the crown again. Fully letting that nourishment come in, waking up your sacred connection more fully and breathing out anything that would impede your connection. And drawing in the divine breath of life, receiving that into the crown one final time. Holding that for a little bit longer, really feeling the nourishment of it. And then releasing all that is ready to go. From every direction, from every chakra, drawing in the divine breath of life. Feeling it come into the central channel and nourish you, and cleansing that central channel of anything that would limit as you breathe out in every direction, spherically. Drawing that divine breath of life in from every center as you receive that holy breath, that holy inspiration, you release in all directions. Anything that would leave you feeling separate or small or unheld. And one last time, drawing the divine breath of life spherically from every direction into every chakra. Cleansing, clearing, activating a holy remembrance in your body temple. And as you breathe out, you just surrender all that is ready to be surrendered into the divine embrace. And you let the breathing be what it desires. You feel this sacred stillness.
In this space of deep listening, we invite you to commune with your soul, to remember and as these energies move within you and around you, bring your conscious mind into play and integrate those thoughts those emotions, that experience. See them for what they truly are and what they're here to show you. Witness, witness them. Welcome them all in the soul field and love them up. This space is available for you at any time. You can come here anytime you desire. And we'll have the recordings as well for you to swim with us whenever you need to. Thank you. So we are, Luminaria and I are planning our solstice celebration coming soon. Is it solstice or?
Yeah, summer solstice.
Summer solstice, yes. I always get those two confused. And so just be on the lookout for that information coming up. We're really excited to plan that. And we have, of course, the Facebook group where you can share your experiences, whatever comes up for you. This is sort of like a community. We are shifting a little bit from going live on Facebook and being more on this space. It's a little more intimate, I think. We also have the YouTube channel where we post the what's the word?
Transmissions. And
We post the replays for you if you want to look at them later and experience this again. I know for sure I'm going to be coming back to this one and doing the breath work again because whew, that was powerful. And then we're on Instagram, just we're trying to have a presence everywhere. But if you feel like someone could benefit from joining us, have them go to the soulfield.org and have them fill out the sign in so we can add them to our mailing list and we can send them reminders. We're trying to automate things so we can just make sure that we're on top of things. We have the first and third Wednesday of the month, we have the meditation. So thank you for joining us on the meditations. And then the second and fourth Sundays, we have the gatherings. And as always, thank you for your support. Every time that you tithe, that you donate to us, it helps us. And it helps us show up in a professional way because we have to pay for these things, but it also helps us provide for those who need support as well. So for example, if someone wants to participate in the soul field and doesn't have the means, the tithing helps support that person be a part of this beautiful offerings. And for whatever else you need, if you have a need, please let us know. And we have money aside for helping our community.
yeah. And so far, there's money sitting there that nobody's saying, hey, I could use some help. So please reach out to us. We really mean it. We are tithing 10% back to our community in various different ways. So sometimes it's in scholarships and sometimes it's in like, you need cash? Okay. You want to create something and you don't know how yet? Let us know. So we're bringing our prayers and our etheric desires, but also our very 3D desires.
Yes.
I want to just share, some of you know this, but we are shifting also the format of our meditations. We were doing those live on Facebook and we're doing them here on Zoom now. So you have the link. The link is always the same link. So you'll be joining us in our Soul Field personal meeting room. So once you have that in there, you should be able to get to it pretty quickly and easily from whatever device you're using. But we are in the process of figuring out what is the structure that really serves what is seeming to unfold here. And so these are reasons why we're making these shifts.
Yes. And we'll get really fancy as we invest in technology. We'll get fancier about presenting ourselves everywhere. So yes. I'm gonna put the link for the PayPal that I actually didn't put in there for tithing. Thank you.
We'll say our closing prayer. We are deeply grateful to have experienced miraculous communion with our holy wholeness in the soul field. We wholeheartedly receive the upliftment of one another's communion and blessed soul light. As we close this formal gathering, we each in our own way will continue dwelling in the soul field and supporting our collective evolution. With deep gratitude, we thank one another and all our angels, guides, and guardians. Remembering as we minister to ourselves, we uplift one another. We encourage the magic we co-created to ripple out to all our relations for the benefit of all beings.
Estamos profundamente agradecidos por esta experiencia milagrosa de comunión con nuestro ser sagrado aquí en el campo del alma. De todo corazón recibimos la comunión de cada uno de nosotros y de la luz de nuestra alma divina. Al culminar formalmente esta congregación, cada uno de nosotros de manera personal permaneceremos aquí en el campo del alma, apoyando nuestra evolución colectiva. Con profunda humildad agradecemos el uno al otro y a nuestros ancestros, ángeles, guías y guardianes de luz. Recordando que cuando predicamos con nuestro ejemplo, nos elevamos el uno al otro y alentamos la magia que acabamos de co-crear para que se expanda a todos para el beneficio de la humanidad. So as we come to a close, my mind was still in Spanish. I was about to say instructions in Spanish. As we come to a close and blow out our candles, let's intend that whatever you still need to process or transform, you can keep it on the temple of divine perfection as long as it's needed. It's needed. So we don't have to hold that, and we can understand that everything happens in divine perfection. Thank you for joining us today. It's a real pleasure.
So many blessings to all of you.